Hello, hello, hello. I am Chief Meteorologist Jackie Layer here today with another episode of Weather Chat. Today, I am joined by my co-host with the mostest. We always say this, Brittany Ward.
Hey, Jackie.
Hey, Brittany. Welcome back.
Thank you. I love my new name, Hostess with the Mostest.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was always fun. Always fun to say that. I feel like we do a lot of these episodes together, but we always like to, talk about these different topics. So, and I think it's always fun to do that.
Yeah, it really is.
So, shall we get right into it?
Yeah, I don't know how many people will actually like this topic today, but it is something that we do have to talk about.
Yeah, and it's something very important as well.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about
cold
weather safety. Yeah, we're talking about that cold weather safety, yes. And also, the extreme cold as well.
Yes.
Wind chills. I know whenever we bring that up, I know it sends a shiver down my spine. I'm sure everyone else as well.
Yeah.
Or everyone else is just thinking, need to make sure that they have the heavier jacket, the gloves, the hat, the scarf, the layers, all of it.
There's a lot of people that are like, they hear the word wind chill and they're like, really?
I know.
Really? It's me. Because when I hear the word wind chill, I'm like, okay, it's too cold.
They're like, they warned us. They
Yes.
warned us. Yes. So let's get right into it. And let's explain, what is wind chill?
Because a lot of people probably want to know what it is.
They hear it and they're like, why? Why do we have that? Yeah.
Why do we have that?
Yeah. So it's all living organisms, so humans, animals, we all experience wind chill. I know a lot of people think, well, what about, the ground? No. It's us living things experience that wind chill because it's our body heat that is escaping us because of that wind.
Yes.
And once that, the temperature is dropping and the winds are picking up, then wind chills are lowering. So, yeah.
And I will say, I really, really like this graphic, Jackie, because I think this is such a great representation of exactly how wind chills actually work.
Right.
When we have a day where we're seeing those temperatures in the lower 30s, but there's no wind, that allows your body heat to kind of really stay with you. But then when it's windy, that wind kind of pushes that excess body heat that's keeping you warm kind of, I guess, outside. Away from your body. So that's why it's colder when we talk about those wind chill values. We talk, this is what you want to dress for. Don't dress for the outside temperature. Yeah. Dress for the wind chills.
Yes. And it's imperative because, you see this animation here.
Yes. My good buddy. I'm going to call him Bob again.
Right.
Bob has returned.
Bob, our little buddy here.
Yeah.
You can tell he is shivering because that wind is going right over him. He's trying to make sure that body heat is staying in. That's why he is all bundled up. That's why he has that scarf all the way up, almost nearly to his eyeballs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's making, or at least trying, maybe not succeeding, but trying to make sure that body heat stays with him because that wind is trying to take it away.
Exactly.
Yeah. So next up.
You want to talk about those tips?
Yep.
To keep you safe during wind chills, I guess the biggest thing, and then I will say, I feel like we talk about this a lot as meteorologists, is to limit your time outdoors. I know a lot of people, I'm one of them, I do like fresh air, but fresh air on a windy day in the middle of winter is not my friend at all. So, the best advice is definitely limit your time outdoors. And that's because hypothermia as well as frostbites can occur within minutes.
Right.
So,
yeah,
that just gives me the chills again.
I know. And we already covered this part too. Cover exposed skin if you must go outside. That is also very imperative. I have a quick story. Back in my very first market, South Bend, Indiana, I was outside covering, cold. There was a snowstorm. I was out there for nearly minutes. I'm telling you, minutes. I had to take my glove off to fix something with a camera for a live shot. And in TV news, usually it's just, one person trying to go out there setting stuff up.
Yeah.
And just in those near minutes, I was able to get the onset of frostbite on the fingertips, on my fingertips.
Oh, man.
Thankfully, nothing happened, but it took nearly minutes, like I would say 2 minutes outside, because we were talking about wind chills that were 40 below.
Oh, yeah. And that's the worst.
And that's the coldest I've ever felt in my life. And I hope I never feel that way again. So, like I mentioned, imperative that you're making sure that you're covering exposed skin. So
Let's talk about those wind chills.
Yes. Yes.
So I like this graphic as well because this kind of breaks it down of the actual air temperatures. So this graphic represents air temperatures being 30 degrees.
Yes.
So if we have an air temperature of 30 degrees, we have wind speeds at about 10 miles per hour. That gives us a wind chill value of 21 degrees. So meaning that's what it feels like outside. Even though the outside temperature is saying it's 30 degrees, it feels still below the freezing mark. It feels like the lower 20s, which is why it's so important that when you hear us talk about those wind chill values, that you really bundle up. Because again, this is what you want to dress for.
Right. And I mean, even just if it goes up to 20 miles per hour, it drops down into the teens.
Yeah.
And
Even
then you
colder.
can get into the single digits. I mean, if you go well over.
Well, yeah.
If that wind is really whipping, if you're maybe on top of a mountain.
Yeah. And you know, I will say we really deal with wind chills, you know, in the wintertime. And that's because that's when we see that cold air starting to work its way into the region.
Now, I think this is even more important, is talking about when you can get frostbite. And like I said, in mere minutes, it can get that cold.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with this graphic, it's similar to the last graphic, but this one, this is where the air temperature is 0 degrees. So we're starting at 0. And if that wind is just, you know, at 15 miles per hour, you're talking about that wind chill is already 19 below.
Yeah.
And that's when you get frostbite in just 30 minutes if you are not properly bundled up.
Crazy.
Yes.
Crazy.
I know.
In half an hour.
And then the darker shading, so 10 minutes for frostbite to be dealt with.
Yeah.
If you're not properly bundled up.
Wind chill is no joke.
No,
you have to take it seriously.
We really do. And I mean, it has to be that darker shading. So at the very bottom of that graph. So onset would be when it's feeling like about 29 below. And like I mentioned, I was out in 40 below.
So, that's not even on this list.
I know.
I just looked. I'm like,
it's off the charts.
Yeah, it's off the charts.
It's off the charts.
It stopped at negative
Just don't
32.
even go outside if it's like that.
Wow.
Yes.
So,
learn from me.
Yeah. And you know what? I will say, Jackie, we are going to talk more about the hypothermia and frostbites too, what people can do if they get that. So hopefully, that's something that we could really hone in and, really let people know, because again, the middle of winter, it's cold.
I know.
This is what people need to dress for.
Right. And the latest with the National Weather Service, we're talking about these cold weather alerts that can be issued, especially when we're talking about those wind chills that are just unsafe.
Unsafe at all.
So we have the cold weather advisory. This used to be the wind chill advisory.
Yes.
So new wording. So it's making sure that everyone is, in the know. So with that cold weather advisory, this is issued when wind chills or temperatures are expected to fall east of the Blue Ridge. So we're talking over towards the DC area. If we have those wind chills or temperatures falling into those single digits, we could get those cold weather advisories. Yeah. That's either temperatures or wind chills.
Yeah. And I know you said east of the Blue Ridge, but I also want to point out that east of the Blue Ridge, according to the National Weather Service, their exact wording for this, that 0 to 9 degrees, that actually excludes Carroll and Frederick County, Maryland. So you guys are not included. Even though you guys are east of the Blue Ridge, you guys are technically not included in that criteria.
Right. But they are included in the west of the Blue Ridge.
Correct. They are included in the west of the Blue Ridge.
Right. So that has to be where it's reaching 10 below to 19 below.
So cold.
I know. It is. But then you can get extreme cold warnings too.
Even better.
Right. So east of the Blue Ridge, we're talking 10 below. And then including the west of the Blue Ridge, that's 20 below to reach that criteria. So if you see us talking about cold weather advisories, we just wanted to give you that heads up. These are the numbers to look at. I mean, we'll also reiterate it too whenever these are issued, but also extreme cold warnings. Definitely want to take that more seriously, especially when we're talking about warnings. So if you have to be outside during those times, I know people have to.
Yeah. Us, me, going to work.
Right.
A lot of people going to work still want to bundle up, even though you're just going to your car, to your door, or, the car to your garage. Still want to make sure you're bundled up, because at the end of the day, you're still going to be outside.
Yeah. So again, cold weather advisory used to be wind chill advisory. Extreme cold warning used to be wind chill warning. So you will not hear us say wind chill advisories or wind chill warnings anymore. This is a new word.
Yeah. So
Now, this is even more important.
yes.
Knowing these symptoms between hypothermia and frostbite. So hypothermia, I mean, we're talking about your body temperature falling
Yes.
95 or below. If that happens, you have to call 911.
Yes.
Please.
Please call 911.
Right.
That is serious. Please call 911.
I know. You have drowsiness, confusion, slurred speech, shivering, weak pulse, and fumbling hands. Now, frostbite, I had the onset of frostbite at one point.
Did you
Yes.
experience any of these symptoms?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Around just on the very tips of my fingers, that very top layer of skin, it was turning a little bit of that blue purple. It was a
Okay.
very dark color. I almost thought that I had makeup on my hands, like mascara.
Yeah.
I almost
Oh,
thought
wow.
It almost
Okay.
looked like that.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering what was going on. But yeah, I had to go to urgent care, make sure that everything was okay. They just, gave me the stuff that you put on tattoos when you're newly inked up.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
they gave me that to
Wow.
put on there, and within a few days, it went away.
Wow.
So thankfully, it wasn't anything worse.
Yeah.
But yes, you have those symptoms on there for frostbite. It could be different patches of skin. But let's go to the next slide to show you what you can do,
Yes.
whether
So
you have hypothermia or frostbite.
I will say at least the first thing I would definitely do is go to a warm room.
Yeah.
And you could see hypothermia, frostbite, that's number one.
Yes.
Go to a warm room. And number two, remove those wet clothes.
Yes.
I understand you are cold,
Yeah.
but those wet clothes will kind of, I guess, make you colder if you
Yeah.
keep them on. So it's good to have on those dry clothes.
Yes.
So definitely want to remove that. Hypothermia, you want to keep dry and wrapped in a warm blanket. You also want to drink liquids. And then I put this back on the graphic.
Yeah.
Please call 911 if you do have hypothermia.
Right.
When it comes down to frostbites, they suggest that you soak the affected area in warmer water. They also said don't massage the area or put in direct heat.
Right.
And with this, I thought this was very interesting because with frostbites, I would think maybe you would want to go to, a fireplace or if it hurts, you want to massage your hands. But doctors are saying don't do that. So I'm glad that they said that because
Right.
that's something I learned.
Yeah.
And then finally, they said protect that area with loose bandages. So those are some things that you could do if you find yourself in a hypothermia situation or even a frostbite situation.
Which is, again, imperative. But we do have more to talk about on this episode of Cold Weather Safety on Weather Chat. So stay tuned. We have more to talk about with snow squalls coming up next. So, yes, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's Chief Meteorologist Jackie Layer, joined here by Meteorologist Brittany Ward.
Hello.
We were just talking about wind chills and how dangerous hypothermia, frostbite can be when we're talking about extreme cold. So now onwards to another aspect of the winter season, and that is and can be snow squalls.
Yes.
Yes, we had snow squall warnings, New Year's Day.
Yes.
Early in the morning, so not everyone was awake. I think most people were asleep by then after
Yeah.
bringing in 2026. Yeah, you can get those snow squall warnings. I think it's imperative, especially if people are traveling, if they encounter a snow squall, to make sure that people know what it is.
And I was going to say, I really do think it's important for us to talk about snow squalls because I think when people hear squall, they kind of think of the summertime. And,
Like a squall line.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think it's very important that, no, we could see squalls happen in the wintertime. They just have a different name to it. So we're calling this a snow squall. Same kind of effects, just different type of precipitation.
Right.
So when we think of a snow squall, think of an intense, heavy burst of snow.
Yep. Short-lived.
Short-lived, yeah. So that is, I guess, the upside of it. But in the moment, it's very intense. We're talking like whiteout conditions, very breezy conditions. And then just think of heavier snow just coming down.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I like that you had mentioned the summertime when we're talking about a squall line of thunderstorms. So a line of embedded thunderstorms, that's a summer aspect. Now this is more the winter version of it and with a different type of precipitation and with that low visibility, heavy snow and the strong wind gusts too. And that wind can really whip around that snow as well. So that just creates not the best driving conditions.
Not at all. And, snow squalls, they could happen along a front, or they could happen due to lake effect.
Yes.
And I feel like here closer to the metro area, so like DC, we tend to see more snow squall happens during a front versus lake effect.
Yeah. So let's talk more so about that frontal squall.
Yes.
So if we go to the next graphic, we are talking about that setup. So yeah, with the lake effect, we're a little bit farther away from the Great Lakes. I mean, yes, there could be some lake effect snow squalls that impact westernmost parts of Maryland. But with this one, we're talking about that frontal one that we can typically get across much of the DMV. This is when that front separates that Arctic air mass from air that's relatively warmer, and then that can lift right along and can form heavy bands of snow in the form of those snow squalls.
Yes.
So I feel like this is very similar to, the summertime thunderstorms too.
Exactly. And I will say this is exactly what happened on New Year's Day when we had, I want to say we had multiple snow squall warnings. I remember seeing it out towards Frederick County, parts of Montgomery County. And again, it was early in the morning. So, we just rang in the new year and we got those snow squall warnings.
Right. And then they can really, they move pretty quickly. They can fizzle out. So if it's approaching you and all of a sudden you just notice it fizzling out too. I mean, like I mentioned, we keep going back to summertime thunderstorms. Very, very similar, just different, times of the year.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the differences between a snow squall versus a snowstorm. So like you heard me and Jackie, very, very short-lived when we talk about a snow squall. They could last anywhere between 30 to 60 minutes, sometimes even shorter than that. But then when we talk about a snowstorm, just to kind of give you the difference, snowstorms are a lot longer. So they could last days or even hours. So it's that kind of difference between, snowstorms. We may not get that heavy snow falling in such a quick time where you would see in a snow squall. Right. But we could also see some more heavier snow, during that snowstorm over a period of time, like hours or days, versus that snow squall where it's really short-lived. We're talking minutes.
Right.
So, I don't know if you wanted to add anything, if I forgot anything.
You got it all. That was great. What's the next graphic?
So I was going to say, we talk about the tips now.
I know, yeah. Let's talk about those tips. I mean, if you know that we're already talking about that chance for some snow squalls to move in, we would always say avoid all travel if possible. But if you are out, first things first, I mean, you have to reduce your speed. Do not slam on the brakes because
that's a big one.
I know, because I mean, you're going to be encountering a snow squall, very low visibility in a short period of time. And if you're traveling on a highway, that's when you can typically get, those pileups, because people all of a sudden, they see that reduced visibility. There's not enough time for them to brake. And then right in front of them, there's that crash. So not only that, do not slam on the brakes. Besides that, turn on those headlights, allow extra time for travel. Don't want to be in a rush. And tune into us. Monitor those local forecasts and those travel conditions too.
Yes, because we will keep you informed.
Yeah.
And we will keep you safe.
Yes, always. always trying to make sure that everyone is in the know with what we're seeing and what we can see, in the future as well. So that's all for snow squalls, but we do have more to talk about, because then we also have the blizzards.
Ooh, the big blizzard.
I know. And there's criteria to reach in order for it to be considered a blizzard. So we want to go over that coming up in this next segment. So stick around. We'll be right back after this short break. And welcome back. I am Chief Meteorologist Jackie Lair, again, joined here with meteorologist Brittany Ward. And we've been going over cold weather safety this entire episode. We talked about wind chills, hypothermia, frostbite. I hope everyone knows the difference, knows the symptoms, knows what to do. And then the last segment, we were talking about snow squalls. Very important to know what to do if you do encounter them. And if you don't have to be out there on the roadways when we're talking about snow squalls, that's great. Love that everyone knows that. Now, for this segment, we want to talk about blizzards.
Yes.
And in order for it to be considered a blizzard, it has to reach some certain criteria.
Yes.
And we have that listed on the screen for you here today. So with that, do you want to go over it, Brittany?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that it has to at least last for 3 hours.
Yes.
You know, for it to be considered a blizzard.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, we do need visibility to be a quarter mile or less.
Yep.
We also need frequent wind gusts of about 35 plus miles per hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then we need falling or drifting snow. So we need all of this. And it also has to last for 3+ hours.
Yes.
In order for it to be considered a blizzard.
Yes. Mm-hmm. We've had several of these when I worked in Boston, so we were always looking at this checklist because it need to have all 3 of those for 3 or more hours. Really easy to remember when you say these 3 things for 3 or more hours.
More hours, yeah.
There you go.
The 3 threes.
Exactly. There you go. Easy to remember. So when you hear us say it's officially a blizzard, now you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have, we can have blizzard warnings.
Yes.
And it usually has to have, these 3 things. But I think this was something that we pointed out yesterday when we were talking about this was there's no temperature requirement that must be met to achieve blizzard conditions in order for a blizzard warning to be issued.
Yeah. And to me, I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah. I thought that was very interesting. I mean, of course, it has to be, below the freezing mark in order for us to have snow falling and accumulating. Also, I'm sure wind chill is a factor because we're talking about those wind and frequent wind gusts, 35 miles or more.
Yeah. So. And, we're getting all of this information directly from the National Weather Service as well. I just wanted to, point that out when we talk about the warnings and stuff like that. That is directly coming from the National Weather Service website. There we go. I don't know why that was such a mouthful.
I know. So we have been talking about cold weather safety. We talked about snow squalls. Now we talked about blizzard. Now we also want to talk about, snow squall warnings. And you may have received that snow squall warning early New Year's Day. I mean, we briefly touched on this, but we also wanted to talk about, when that is issued. And typically that is issued when the expectation of a short-lived but intense burst of snow, often accompanied by some stronger wind gust, can drastically reduce visibility and cause even flash freezes on the road.
Yes.
So that has to be met in order for a snow squall warning to be issued.
Yeah. And I will say being in a snow squall is not fun, especially when you're on the roads. It's fun when you're home and you're inside and you're watching it from the window.
Right.
But being on the roads, I got stuck in a couple when I was living in West Virginia. And let me tell you, the mountains, whew, man. It's different.
It's different.
It's different. It is different in those higher elevations. My first snow squall warning, I remember I called my news director and I said, I don't know what to do. And she was like, just pull over.
Right.
It's going to be fine. It's going to probably last for another 3 seconds and then come to work.
Yeah.
And then the next day, when I got to work, I took the station car because I don't have 4-wheel drive. So they allowed me to take the station car home. And then I was coming into work, was stuck in another snow squall. Oh, no. And I was like, wow, West Virginia, man, you and your snow squalls, you guys are killing me right now in this winter time. My first winter in West Virginia.
There you go.
Taught me quickly.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, I think everyone was able to learn a lot from today, knowing that, if you do encounter your first ever snow squall, yes, pull over, stay calm, and and if you don't have to be out there on the roadways, and if we're talking about snow squall warnings, stay home.
Yes, I have to agree with you on that.
Yes. But I mean, we covered a lot, and I think that, concludes our talk today on cold weather safety. Hope everyone at home learned something, and I hope that when you tune in to DC News Now and you hear us talking about all these different, watches, warnings, advisories, that now you know the difference, and now you know the reason why we issue those. So again, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Weather Chat. Hope you can tune in to our other episodes as well, and you can also click through other ones that we've already recorded.
Yeah.
See if you have any questions, feel free to send us a little note.
Yeah, stay warm, stay safe, and don't forget to check into the weather.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll see you next time on Weather Chat.
Bye.
Bye.